very much. Well, yes, I'll be talking about language curricula after so much science and scientific and technological exposure. I don't know, so we'll probably have to have a little head change towards humanitarian sphere. But this is what our language, our university offers, languages and regional studies. We're liberal arts university. We were established as the Institute of Foreign Languages in 1973. We actually were split from the University of Russian Language and Literature when Brezhnev visited Azerbaijan, and he wondered why Azerbaijan does not have a separate institution dealing with only Russian language and literature. So they decided to leave the Russian language and literature as separate and just gave the other three languages, English, German, and French, to us. So we started growing, and today we're offering undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral programs, postgraduate programs in about 15 languages through diverse programs: translation and interpreting, language teaching, philology, and then we grew towards covering also regional studies, political science, and political diplomatic studies. I will tell you that foreign languages have become a top priority in Azerbaijan. It will not be a surprise. This is a similar process that is taking place in many other countries after the decay of the Soviet Union and in a little earlier in Eastern Europe. But now, in many cases, this trend has already established itself with new parameters and new approaches, but still the demand is growing, and of course while the demand to study the foreign languages in these countries, for example in Azerbaijan, is growing, the approach, the methods, and the understanding of the whole concept of teaching or learning the foreign languages is also changing. Although the factors making it a top priority is similar, I would like to draw your attention to specific factors that make it important in Azerbaijan. First of all, the presence of international companies. They're mainly oil and oil-related services are present in Azerbaijan, and they, of course, also require other service companies that serve them, financial companies also coming to Azerbaijan. So these corporations still are the source of the best paid, offering best paid jobs and career opportunities for the youth. So this is the first stage of this boom, foreign language boom, was like, okay, I have a good language skills or a good translation skills. I can go and work as a language, the secretary that will use the language or translator. Now later, they of course started promoting the local youth to higher positions, and the requirement did not stop only on just knowing the language, reading and understanding or speaking it, but also combined with good communication skills, with viable negotiation skills. So, of course, this demand was also carrying together with itself new approaches to the language teaching. Also, at later stages, the companies started looking for specialists, local specialists with good language skills. So it was not enough only to have a graduate from a Foreign Languages Institute, but they also wanted to have, let's say, oil specialists or technicians or health environment specialists with good language skills. First of all, they when they signed the agreement, they committed to changing the staff, from more international to mostly local people. So then there is a growing competition in the field of medicine these days. There was a growing tendency, still there is a growing tendency among Azerbaijanis nowadays with financial possibilities growing to seek medical health, medical services outside the country, because you know, in the so-called transition period, or the real transition period, I don't know how long, whether we should still call it a transition period, but still I can say you know, just make myself understood. This period from the Soviet Union, decay of the Soviet Union, the quality of the medical services also dropped in these countries, also in Azerbaijan, and people started going out seeking medical services outside. Yes, this also is stimulating the medical sphere in Azerbaijan to look back at themselves and see what they can do to improve their own quality, so that they also stay in the market. Of course, they need foreign languages to update their knowledge and skills and etc. Yes, the demand with now local companies also like to employ people, young people with languages, with the foreign languages, and there is also high demand for recruiting young people, graduates who have graduated from some European or American or Turkish or other universities. Now there is the preference for them not only in international companies, but also the government. There's a special government grant sending people out and then having them back into the governmental structures. Also, increasing diplomatic relations is one factor. There is also some seasonal demands, so-called, emerging with, for example, we're going to have in 2 days or 3 days Eurovision that is employing a huge amount of language speaking. I will tell you that the word language has already become synonymous with the word English. If someone asks, do you know the language, or what's the status of the language, everybody will understand that this is English, not the other language. So a huge amount of youth is being employed now for these or forums or international competitions or so. Also, of course, and this logically brings us to the growing demands in international, in effective language teaching at universities. Okay, so we had the language teaching in. If we talk briefly about the curriculums of the Soviet times. You know that during the Soviet times we have the universities which have their own profiles: medical university, engineering university, so on. So we have only one Baku State University which gives all kinds of programs in all fields, almost all fields. But other than that, and except for some private universities and regional universities, we have usually just are specialized in certain fields. So it was not understood what was the objective of the language teaching in non-language institutions, because there was no perspective of using these languages. Let's say language teaching at the Polytechnic University. So where would this, what were the objectives? It was not known. Where would these languages be used for those graduates if they stayed in a closed society? It was not known again. But then why did they teach it? Again, a big question mark. At best, they could use it for just reading and understanding something if they, for their own purposes, or if they had to report something to their management about some events or something. The structure of the curricula was also not effective. Was not supporting effective language teaching. First of all, quantitative aspect. There was an insufficient number of hours. A qualitative aspect was very much theory-based, very much dependence on the textbooks, and it was mainly the knowledge about how language functions rather than to be able to function with this language. And well, read and translate method, which is well known to you, of course. What about language institutions? Yes, of course, the language institutions graduated people who could use language. It was not possible not to have, of course, language skills after graduating from these universities. But were they viable? They were viable at certain situations. Again, to the very much according to the demands of the closed society. Yes, for not all situations. For well, there was communication skills to be used in very much formal settings. Viability mainly for official or for certain limited situations. I hope my colleagues from all post-Soviet universities participating here would at least partly agree with me, because it was the same case in all these societies. Yes, writing, for example, was not developed. It was just as a means rather than the purpose of teaching. Therefore, the reforms in higher education and languages became a very big part of reforms in higher education, and it was kind of a boom in these in Azerbaijan. I will talk about Azerbaijan specifically. By the way, skills, we observed skills dropping not only in the foreign languages, but also in the native languages. So the problem was not to deal with the how to teach effectively to the foreign languages according to the demands of the market, but how to sustain and how to bring back the good at some point the language skills, the native language skills, Azerbaijani language skills. I'm not talking about Russian because it's a special case now, but in Azerbaijani. So what are today's market demands? As I said, good communication skills, active listening and comprehension, active speaking skills, good writing skills, writing a report, not just writing correctly, grammatically, or just beautifully, but also making your message, just getting your message through to the audience and making it logical and just getting results out of it. So that's why now the very interesting aspect of reforms is that marketability is making the language teaching, reforms, language teaching, and a very interdisciplinary matter. So languages have now are being taught not as just pure languages, but they also are placed into the context of intercultural communication and language. So language is taught through these channels, or academic writing and readings, or effective communication. So this is contributing to the interdisciplinary concept, actually, in this. So I just want to stress that really the languages universities in these countries and the language curricula are kind of locomotives in front of, going in front of all these reforms, because they're kind of creating exposure to other fields, which also go through these, like, for example, trainings. 4 minutes only. Okay, thank you. Okay. So, so what is? Then I'll come concretely to what we're concretely doing in the sphere of language, making our curriculums more viable. We are doing employment service. Employers, taking part. They are taking part in needs assessment for our curriculums. Quality assurance procedures now are including the employability indicators. We are working with bridging structures. For example, after the university and that structure of an industry is creating a bridging structures, like creating courses. Now they're functioning as intermediary structures for the graduates with good scores and good indicators. They go through this structures which give them soft skills, and then they enter the market. So this is one of the ways to cooperate with the market. We are bringing international expertise through international projects. Internships is a very big part of our communication with the employment markets. Internships have become more productive because usually it is just it had the formal sides that students suffered from the passive attendance of schools or translation or the offices. Now we're working more intensively with them so that they involve our students and they give them real tasks. Again, seasonal internships which lead to permanent jobs. Employment of graduate students. We sometimes employ our own graduate students, or we just make a flexible schedule for them, because if they are employed at somewhere, the graduates from our university are really at a very high demand. So we are making a flexible curriculum so that the graduates could work. Also, just 2 minutes. Also, I would like to talk about that we have been creating professional units within the university, and they are reaching the market. For example, translators, the structure that translates, they take orders from the government or from private structures, and they do the translation. And we involve also the students into this. Protocol department. We have created a protocol department which serves, again, as I said, these conferences, international conferences, some orders coming from, some requests coming from the ministries. We're training them to to do certain logistics. We have a logistics department. We have an international IT center, which also serves, takes the students into, they take some practice and then they go into the market. We also work with other universities, in cooperation with other universities. We give them trainings for their language, for the teachers who have language skills. They want to teach, for example, in English, but they need some more trainings. We create special trainings, career development trainings for other universities. We help them design their curriculums so that they enter directly the market, the language curriculums, I mean under the language curriculums. And we're also working with them in building triangles. Our university, languages university, that university, specific university, and the market, certain structure in the employment market, together that this triangle works on the curriculum. So these are just very concrete steps that we have been taking. This tendency is not old in Azerbaijan. It is just starting. And it is starting on the basis of cooperation, mainly with the universities. Universities tell us their demands, and we also use the services of other universities for other curriculums. For example, for international relations or political science, we cooperate with Baku State University and invite their experts to look at our curriculums. So just I would like to thank you for your attention and thank you for organizing this seminar for diversity of opinions. Thank you very much.